you're looking to make a move down to Arizona, but you're not quite sure where you want to land, and you're over 55, I have some great options for you. These are called stay and play options where you can come down to Arizona, stay for a few days, get a feel for the community and the location, and then go ahead and figure out if you want to purchase your second home here or if you want to retire here permanently. And guys, I'll have the links to all this down below, specifically the amenities as well as the communities that you guys can do a little bit more research on, because I'm not going to get into every amenity at these specific locations because we'll be here all day. But just know these places have things like resort style pools, they have restaurants, they also have community clubs, community activities. I mean, if you move down here and you can't make friends, then I would say that I've lost all hope for you. These are really active communities and very similar to other active 55 plus communities, but with a little bit more of a premium. And also these are golf communities. So if you guys aren't into golf, just realize that you may be paying a little bit extra in HOA fees or membership fees to be part of that golf club. Now, the first community we're going to talk about is Wickenburg and Wickenburg Ranch. Now, if you're going to Vegas from Phoenix, you're going to pass through Wickenburg, and you're kind of like, oh, this is a quaint little town. But just realize it's far up there. It's very far northwest. If you want to go from Wickenburg to Scottsdale, you're looking at an hour, 25-minute drive. The great thing about Wickenburg, though, and Wickenburg Ranch specifically, which is the name of the Trilogy community, is that it's got a deep history. And it's kind of cool because there's a little downtown area. The location is great because you have all of your amenities, your shopping really close by. You don't have to go too far. So it's definitely a quaint little town. And what's great about the location, once again, is that the town of Wickenburg has little things like a Christmas light parade and different festivals when it comes to all the holidays. And it really just brings that small community together. So you have a small community feel. It's probably my favorite community of all that we're going to talk about having, just that kind of community vibe to it. And coming up next is Verde River. Now, Verde River is going to sit in Rio Verde. It's all the way to the east, pretty much at the end of the civilization as far as the Phoenix metro area goes. Good thing about it, though, is you are close to Scottsdale. You're really close to Cave Creek if you want to go to downtown Cave Creek. You have some stellar views of the McDowell Mountain Range to the south. To the east, you have some really nice views of the Tonto National Forest. And to the north, you have an even more expansive Tonto National Forest view. I mean, it is really, really beautiful over here. Now, the downside that comes to this is that a lot of your neighbors are losing their hauled water access from the city of Scottsdale. However, you are on private water, so you will still have water if you live here. So that's not something to worry about. So you will notice the price of homes around the area are coming down a little bit. So that is kind of a bummer, but it still seems like home prices at Verde River are still holding. Now, the downfall to this, you don't really have a community feel there outside of Verde River, the Trilogy community, because a lot of it's like one-off horse properties that are around. And some people like that. I guess if you like to go horseback riding, that's really close as well. But the downside to being so far east is that if you want to go grocery shopping or if you want to go to like your favorite malls, the grocery store, the nearest one is going to be 25 minutes away. So just realize every time you get in your car and you have to go pick up groceries, you're looking at about a 25-minute to a half-hour drive. And it depends on traffic too, because that street leading out there, it's only 2 lanes, 1 lane going each way. And it does go merge into 2 lanes a little bit later, but it's still going to be a little bit busy, especially as they start to build that area up. The third Trilogy community that you can stay at is Encanterra. Now, Encanterra is located in Santan Valley, which is the East Valley. And I would say this is probably the best location of them all as far as being near hospitals, dining areas, being near restaurants, being close to shopping, things like that. You really just have to leave the community, maybe travel a half mile, and you have all of these stores right around you. So the thing about Incanta that's a little bit different than Wickenburg Ranch, but very similar to Verde River, is that you're part of a bigger town, Santan Valley. You also have access to Queen Creek amenities. I would say more so Queen Creek. I feel like there's a lot more going on in Queen Creek. So if you were to go to like the Queen Creek Marketplace or downtown Queen Creek on Old Ellsworth Road, sometimes there are some festivals and whatnot going on down there. Coming up, they have like a side-by-side festival where they're going to have people are going to go on their side-by-sides, light them all up, and drive down the street, basically right down Old Ellsworth Road. So that's something that's really cool for People that live in Encanterra, you're close to the olive mill, you're close to Schnepp Farm. So if you have grandkids and family coming out, you have access to a lot of really cool places to go at Encanterra. So I think it's better than Trilogy Verde River. However, Verde River and Wickenburg, you're going to be more on the outskirts. Just realize not being near any big cities. Now, the next community we're going to be looking at is a Robson community. It's called Quail Creek. Now, you got about a 35-minute drive into Tucson, so it's far enough south to where you're away from the hustle and bustle of the everyday busy life. However, it does have amenities just 10 minutes away as far as shopping, dining out, and entertainment, so you don't have to go too far. So this is definitely a pretty decent location if you guys are looking in the South Tucson area. Now head 40 minutes north of Tucson and you'll hit Saddlebrook Ranch. Saddlebrook Ranch, as well as other areas of Tucson, sit a little bit higher in elevation than Phoenix, so you're going to have some cooler temperatures in these locations. Now the location of Saddlebrook Ranch is really great because there are some stellar mountain views and there's not really a whole lot around it. So you're kind of out there on an island all by yourself in this community. Now the downside to that is there's not a whole lot of shopping nearby. In order to go grocery shopping, you're gonna have to drive about 8 miles away, and luckily it is a fast speed limit, so it's only a 12-minute drive. Now heading a little bit further north, in between Tucson and Phoenix, sits Robson Ranch. One of the cool things I saw about this community is it has a softball field. Now this sits in Eloy. I'm not really familiar with the town of Eloy. I am familiar with Casa Grande, which is where you'll have to go to do your shopping. So that's about a 15 to 20 minute drive. And this community does feel like it's a little bit, once again, on an island, much like Saddlebrook Ranch. It feels like it's a little bit on the outskirts, and there's really not a whole lot around it. And once again, it truly does sit between Phoenix and Tucson. It's an hour drive to Phoenix, and it's an hour drive to Tucson. And it sits only 12 minutes from Skydive, Arizona, if you guys are looking for any type of near-death experience. Now, moving out west, we're going to Goodyear, Arizona, and this is home of Pebble Creek. Now, the great thing about Pebble Creek, and one of the most unique features, is that it has 54 holes of championship golf. The location is pretty much smack dab in the middle of the city of Goodyear. I mean, right when you pass the Welcome to Goodyear sign, you're arriving at Pebble Creek. It's got access to the I-10 as well as the 303. Now, one thing you got to make sure when you purchase a home here is that you don't purchase a home too close to the expressway. And another thing about this community is that it sits just south of the Luke Air Force Base. Now, for me, when I go out to this community, it's kind of crazy hearing jets all the time. Now, Goodyear, the city itself, has a lot of events that residents can obviously partake in, and it also is home to the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. Yes, we just changed the names from the Indians to the Guardians, and that's where their spring training home is. So right down the block from Pebble Creek, if you guys enjoy spring training, then that's a great place that you want to visit if you enjoy baseball. I have all the information below. Basically, what you could do here is you could do a 2-night stay or you could do a 3-night stay. What you will notice is that the Trilogy Communities are going to cost a lot more than the Robson Communities. The Robson Communities have a lot of different variations in their pricing, whereas Trilogy kind of stays the same all year round. So make sure to call and get availability. I will have all that information down below. If I can help you guys out in any way, feel free to reach out to me. Can definitely get you set up with a tour as well as a stay and play. And if you guys want to tour one of these Robson communities, I have a Pebble Creek tour right here that I think you guys will enjoy.